All right, we are recording now, so take it away.
Awesome, guys. So here we are on our second week of our team weekly Zooms. And these are trainings. These Zooms are trainings. These are other leaders within and outside of our groups of just different things people are doing that they're implementing into their business. So last week we had locals with Bobby Joe, and she, the two, I think right off the bat is herself and Tammy both host monthly locals and have for years now. So we had that. This week is all about Zooms. One thing that I can say for Tammy Battaglia is she has got this Zoom thing down. But guess what? She didn't always. So she is helping me get this Zoom thing down. But she's also coming on tonight to help each and every one of us utilize the Zoom program. Guys, number one, it's free, which Tammy's going to go into all of that. But I want for you to understand, and the reason why Tammy has a weekly Zoom, I want you to understand, and this is the most important thing if you get nothing else out of this, you have to do something on a weekly basis to get your team going. I used to host a week, and I'm going to say this, I used to host a weekly team call. Everybody knows it was Sunday night, 7 Central Standard Time, Thriving Sisters team call. I stopped that at the beginning of the year. And guess what? I have seen my business go in opposite direction by not hosting that weekly team call. I will be the first one who's going to be transparent here for you folks. So I want to start doing these. I'm doing these weekly team Zooms, and they're going to be implementing different things within our team and outside of our team. So Tammy, she's our guest tonight. Tammy Battaglia has got this Zoom thing down. It took her no time to get it, but she's going to tell you the tips, the tricks, the tips, the insides, the outsides. And she's also going to let you know that no matter if 2 people come on or 25 people come on, you're going to host this dang Zoom come heck or high water. So take it away, Tammy. I'm going to mute out.
Okay. All right. Hi, guys. So just so you all know, I do have the Zoom set up that you're all muted as you're coming in. So at any time, if you have a question, if you've dialed in, I can't help you with that. But if I see your little face, you can wave at me and I can unmute you, or you can even unmute yourself. Okay. So Zooms. Tom asked me what I was doing this Zoom about tonight. And I was like, it's about Zooms for your team. And he was like, doesn't everybody do it? I was like, nope, they don't. Because we're not in the corporate world. So this is not something that we were all like, doing a couple of years ago. Video conferencing is not something we always did. I didn't even know how to do a 3-way call on my cell phone until I became a promoter. I hadn't done like a party line in years. But so I started hearing other leaders were doing Zooms. And I kind of like Lindsay got a little burnout on the weekly calls just because I already feel like we have 2 calls that we can dial in every week from Lavelle. So I already feel like we have stories. I feel like we have the fan page. I feel like we have the YouTube channel. So I already felt like there was a lot of that we could share with people. But I wanted to be with my team. And there's just something so different from being on the phone and talking in a room by yourself and not exactly knowing who's on there with you, not really, you're just talking, not having a conversation. Whereas on a Zoom, I get to see your faces. Now granted, if you're like busy and sometimes we get on here, people are cooking dinner or doing laundry, and that's totally cool too. You can actually turn off your video if you don't want us to see what you're doing, and you can still participate. But so it's just so much more intimate when you get to be on a Zoom with your team. And then the other nice thing about a Zoom over a phone call is you guys can unmute and we can actually have a conversation. So we can have give and take. We can share ideas. We can ask questions and all that stuff. So I don't even really remember now how long ago it is that I started doing the weekly Zooms, but I will tell you, just like the phone calls, when you first start, it's going to be the same 2 or 3 faces that show up with you every week. I know people are like, well, only 2 people got on my Zoom. 2 people took time to get on your Zoom. That's freaking amazing. Like, be happy that those faces got on your Zoom, right? So like Lindsay said there, like I plan my Zoom and then I just get on and do it. And so if I've got 2 people on or I have 10 people on, what I have planned is what I'm doing. Now, I will tell you, because obviously we do our Zooms on Monday nights at 7:30. Clearly not everyone is available Monday night at 7:30. Some people have different jobs or kids and all these different things. So I do record my Zooms. And I'll get into some of the technical stuff about that in just a minute to kind of walk you through how I do that. But again, it's still a recording, so they're going to see our faces. They're going to, whoever dials in, and not dials in, whoever goes in and watches your recording, they're going to get to hear all the questions. They're going to hear all the exchange of communication. So I can't encourage you enough to start using Zooms with your team, because leading a team, if you're just barking orders over a phone call once a week, that's not really like leading a team. But actually getting into a Zoom, throwing out your ideas, getting their opinions. So I will say every Monday night at 7:30 when I do my Zoom, I have a topic, like, my thought, what we're going to talk about. So this past Monday, this is my third Zoom this week. So last Monday, hi Javier, he's waving. So last Monday, I did the top 5 mistakes promoters make. So I had a topic. I had something I wanted to cover. I went through my list that I had ready, and then I opened it up for questions and comments from the team. And so that really, to me, it's my responsibility to kick it off and to get the thought process going, but then I get to give it back to the team. And that's why I think Zooms are so important. On Sunday night, we did our first ever power hour, which meant we basically got on there and we started planning our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for the week together as a team. So we threw out different ideas for reach outs. We threw out different ideas for social media posts. And again, I could hop on and be like, okay, guys, let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But this way they got to give me their ideas. I get as much out of the Zooms as my team does. Okay. So I will tell you, when I did the very first time I ever got exposed to Zoom, I don't even know who it was, but somebody was doing a Zoom and I was like, oh, I'm going to click this button because it says to click here for Zoom. So it was on my phone and I was like, oh, you have to download an app. So I had to download the Zoom app, had to make myself a username and a password and all that jazz. And I didn't even know that first night. I literally, because I think I was in bed, I think it was one of you people out in Texas and you're always up past our bedtime. So I literally had the phone pointed up to the ceiling because I didn't want anybody to see me sitting in my bed at night. I just thought that was so weird. I had no idea that I could close the video. I did not know how to operate this at all. So don't let not knowing how to operate it stop you, because you will figure it out. But then I am a visual learner. So what I do when I don't know how to do something is I go to YouTube. So I went to YouTube and I typed in how to do a Zoom. There are a lot of people out there that can show you, but Zoom.com itself actually has a lot of training videos. And so it will tell you how to turn your video on and off, how to turn your sound on and off, how to connect, how to record, all those different things. Now, I will preface everything I'm getting ready to tell you. I only have the free Zoom. So there are nights, and my team, I see all your faces. They will tell you there are moments where I'm like, oh my God, we have less than a minute. Okay, bye. And it just cuts us off. But if we're having a really good Zoom and we go to the last minute, we get cut off, that's okay. I'd rather be in that moment than, be staring at a blank screen. So you have a time limit. It tells you can pick 30, but it usually lets us go 35 or 40. On occasion, it'll pop up and be like, hey, you have so many people on your Zoom. We're going to let you just go till your Zoom's done. So I always try to make sure I plan for 30 minutes, and anything after that is gravy. I'm so happy to have anything past that. But again, that's because I only do the free version. So I don't feel like at this point that I need to pay for Zoom. Now, some of you might have bigger teams and you might be like, no, I want the paid version. I want to be able to block out people and just have me and my guest speaker on. And I want to be able to do it through live and upload through Facebook Live and all that. And that is A-okay. Again, I would go to YouTube and I would type in, how do I do a Zoom on a Facebook Live? There's some steps to that. But it can be done. It can totally be done. So Lindsay and I have been talking the last couple of weeks because she wanted to get back to doing her weekly meetings and she wanted to do them on Zoom. And we discovered that if you have the free version and you are doing your Zoom as if you're hosting it through your phone, you cannot record it. So what I actually do, if my husband hears this, he'll laugh at me because he's our IT guy. I have a Surface, which is my computer, but I think it's considered a tablet. He's not saying anything. So I think I don't know. Anyway, my little tablet is my computer. It has the little camera right here that I'm looking at. So I just have it propped up on my desk. And when I do my Zooms through here, I actually go into zoom.com. I go to the Zoom website. I use $15 a month. Javier is saying it's $15 a month. So I actually use the zoom.com website when I'm on my computer, not, on the phone, you're going to use the app. On the computer, I'm on the actual website. When you schedule your meetings on the website, you have a lot more options of setting up your meeting. So for example, tonight, I created the Zoom link. I said people could come on before me. I had everybody muted before you came on. That was an option that I picked. And then I can have it start recording automatically from as soon as somebody gets on. but there's usually a minute or two of downtime. So I typically wait and hit record before. But that's an option that you can do when you schedule from your computer. It's not always an option from your phone. And I'm an Android user. Some people might be Apple users. So it does differ a little, but I know that when you go through zoom.com, you get way more options. And so I don't know if I said this already, but it's the same username and password that if you have the app, when you log in from the website, you're going to use the same information. So you're all right there. So for example, tonight I could have created this link on my computer and I could have just sat outside and done Zoom from my phone. Like it's a really pretty night out. I could have done that, but I wanted to be able to record this video and I am recording this to my computer. So once it's in my computer and recorded, I can either just upload that video to Facebook, or a lot of times what I do is I upload it to YouTube, so then it can be shared amongst some of the other teams. Because if I just upload the video to my team, the Dream Team, then it's locked in there. So for example, Lindsay was a guest on my Zoom before. Brittany's been a guest on my Zoom. If they're a guest on my Zoom, I don't want to just keep that on my team. I want them to be able to share it also. So I usually will upload it to YouTube, and then that way it's free to be passed around. And again, YouTube is free. Like I'm not spending any money here. I'm just using what is at our fingertips already. So Lindsay, we've moved all over the place. What am I forgetting that you want me to cover here?
I think the most important thing that everybody that needs to hear this is, yes, you can purchase Zoom, but for all of the people that are new, I mean, I'm even at 200K and I'm not purchasing it yet, simply because I'm that type of person that's going to be a reward next month to all of us when I stay consistent with my Zoom and do it. So what Tammy and I really wanted the point to get across, and she's done a great job, is it is a free service. If you are not utilizing this service, which I'm only 2 weeks in, guys, so I'm guilty, which is why she was one of the first ones I wanted to pick to get on here, because she's going to tell you, like she said, the ins and outs. But the most important thing, you have to start somewhere. Tammy, you already said that only 2 people show up. Do you change your strategy, or do you keep persevering and doing what you set out to do? Because this goal is you, not necessarily for everybody else.
Right. I mean, I know probably the first month or so after the Zoom, I would contact people and be like, okay, was that a good use of your time? Did you get out of that? Like I said, we just this past Sunday had our first power hour. So I reached out to some people and was like, okay, is that something that you felt was worth your time? And I don't know if they're just being nice, but nobody ever said no. So the one thing I make sure I do is I show up for my team. So every single Zoom is going to start off with whatever is current. So if there's a promotion happening, if there's some sort of qualification going on, if there's a new product launch, I call that housekeeping. I'm going to go through all of those things first, and then I have some sort of topic. Now, granted, sometimes I pick the topic because I'm trying to lure people in, but then sometimes I just, more than not, what happens is I listen to a podcast or read something in a book during the week, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to tell my team that. So that's what I'll make the topic of the Zoom. And so there's a lot of times you'll see us on Zoom, I'm holding like a book up to the camera, or I'm spelling out a podcast or something. So again, it's just pulling each week. So yeah, I stick with my strategy. But I think the most important thing about a Zoom is that my team gets to see my face every single week. Like this is our 3rd Zoom this week that my team has been on, because I am getting more and more comfortable with it. So I'm starting to use it more for more than just our weekly meeting. You guys, there's so much power. We've always said use the voice clip on the phone, and I do totally agree with that, but there's something so much more powerful about being on a Zoom with somebody. So on occasion, I might have one of my downline leaders say, I've got 3 new people. They all say they want to do it. Can we get them on a Zoom? So it'll just be the 5 of us on this Zoom, and we will literally just talk about VIP, or we'll literally just talk about, whatever it is that the leaders ask me to talk about. Because again, that way you can actually talk to people. You can ask them questions. You can get to know them. You see their face. So yeah, I mean, I just feel like there's such potential with Zoom that a lot of people are probably missing. Now, the other nice thing about Zoom is when it makes a link for you for the visual, it also gives you a phone number. So if you have somebody who cannot get on the computer that night, but maybe they're driving or whatever, they can dial in and listen. So it does have that option as well, which is really nice.
And something that I want to add to that, because you probably haven't had to do this yet, And I have, because I've jumped on other leaders, and I'm like you, I don't want to be them seeing me in bed, because some of these other people, they do stuff at 9 o'clock at night, and I love my sleep. You can actually, when you pop on your phone, I cannot speak for the computer. I can only speak for your phone. When you pop on your phone, it says with video or without video.
Right.
You can say without video, and it will show either a blank screen or it will show your picture. Like I went in and I have my profile picture as that. So when it says without video, people are just seeing my profile picture, which I'll show you that right now. Right here, I could put stop video. I hope I didn't just like stop y'all.
No, we're still here.
Okay, see, now you can see where all it's showing is me. I'm not naked. I'm not doing whatever, because I'll be honest, I started a Zoom one time and I don't know what people saw. So
you did a Zoom before for us with your hair in a towel.
Absolutely. That was Sunday night power hour, girl. We got to do what we got to do. So that's important for you to know that you have that as well. There was something else, and I forgot what it was you were talking about. Oh, here's what I'm going to challenge each and every one of y'all. If you're sitting here and you're like, I'm not 4K yet, or I'm 4K to 12K, I don't have a big team. What do you want me to do? Guess what? We heard from Tammy and I got the opportunity to get to hear from Courtney Glaser. Courtney Glaser is a rock star in this business. She's literally at $75,000 of an $80,000 bonus, that $80K and $200K. So I'm going to take what she says to heart. You know what she does every single week? She calls it a team huddle. Yeah. She jumps on a Zoom and she talks about everything she learned that week, whether it was from an upline, a downline, or a sideline, or it was something that she read that really resonated with her. That's what her Zoom is about. So when you're new or you're scared, do a team huddle. If you don't feel confident yet in having a particular subject, just call it a team huddle. Every week we're going to get on for 30 minutes, because when you don't pay for Zoom, you only get like 34 minutes. Okay. You get shut off. If you can't get something across in 34 minutes, then I don't know what to tell you. But you have 34 minutes and you can talk and you can share all your wisdom. And then you know what? If that only took 10 minutes, open it up and you can say, hey, Olivia, what did you learn this week that I really want to hear about? Or what are you reading that's intriguing to you? That's how you're going to get people started, is something so simple like that. Yeah, Tammy, do we want to open it up for any questions?
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to look for hands waving at me. If somebody has a question or a comment, and my team will tell you if we get to this part in our Zooms and no one's talking, I start calling people out. So if you have something you want to say, now's your chance. Do any of you use Zoom on Javier? Javier, you are unmuted.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, so go ahead, and what I've seen that's been working really well is just start small. Start with 1 or 2 people. Start with 1, 2, or 3 people. Start with 1, 2, 3, 4 people. And like you said, break it down with each person and have 3 or 4 get on and work it like that. Trust me, it will all come together sooner or later, and you're going to say, okay, I'm doing 5 Zooms a day. I need to bring it all into one. That's when you start, it's going to happen fast. Okay. But I love what you said, be personal and just get those 2 or 3 people together and get to know each other. And that's what starts to grow. And then you have that little group there, and then you have another little group here, and then you have another group here and another little group here. And all these groups, it's going to be really cool when you're the host and you bring those 4 little groups together. That could be 16 people on one Zoom, and they're going to look around like the Brady Bunch and go, hey, what is this? Who are all these people? Oh, these are all the other groups. Remember I told you I was doing a Zoom at 2 o'clock. I was doing a Zoom at 3 o'clock. I was doing a Zoom at 4 o'clock. And they see that you're a leader helping other groups. So that's the beauty of Zoom. And I've seen Sally. Sally does it a lot, all day long. She'll have 1 in the morning. She'll have 1 in the afternoon. She'll have 1 at night. She'll have 2 at night sometimes with those small little groups. And then she has her weekly Zoom. No different from the Monday morning calls. No different. We have it at 7:15. We've had it like that for 4 years already. And she has her set, I think it's 9 o'clock Tuesday night, and they all come together.
Yep.
So, want to look at it like that.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not about how many people are on the Zoom. It's about what happens in the Zoom. So sometimes you will have more, sometimes you'll have less, but it's just such a good way to get connected to your team or talk openly. I use Facebook Live a lot with the team. If like a promo comes out and I just hop on real quick to explain it. But when you actually can communicate and have conversations back and forth, that to me is the beauty of Zoom, is actually getting to interact with other people.
Yeah.
And I'll add to that. Oh, sorry. Go on, Javier.
One other thing too with Zoom is, you guys, I don't know if, I think it's on here, but it's called Share Your Screen.
Right.
And you can actually write and circle the VIP 800, and they're watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're watching you draw on your phone. If you have one of those little phones, like, well, I'm not going to pull it out, but one of those pins, you can actually draw on your screen, and they'll see you make the circles and who customer is and promoter is. And they're like, oh, wow. And it's right in front of them. And hopefully they duplicate it on a piece of paper. So, and you want to see, that's the other thing too. When somebody's teaching you or you're getting trained, you should have a notepad in front of you. And if you're brand new, you should be writing it down. We always say that if you want your dreams to come true, write it down. No different, guys. We're trying to give you a business plan here, and we're trying to make you a millionaire. Write it down until you got it lodged in your head. And guess what?
Right.
That's not going to happen, because there's going to be something new coming up. That's it for me.
Absolutely. It's truth bombs, guys. And here's something I wrote down. No matter what, you find what time works for you. You are not going to make everybody happy. You find what works for you, and you do that week in and week out, regardless of what it is, because you're never going to fit everybody's schedule. When you have to take your kids here, there, and everywhere. But I will tell you, my Zoom is going to be while I'm in Jamaica. You can bet that I'm going to sit down and continue my Zoom while I'm on vacation, because people show up, or the ones that show up are the ones that are making things happen. Any other questions? I know we're down to like 3 minutes. See, this really makes us work hard.
It does. It does. I will just add really quickly for those of you that you're going to get started on this. It's the same when you got started doing your first local. You're just going to do it, and you're going to do it so many times, and your team's going to be on there that they're eventually going to be like, oh, I can host for you, or I can step in. And I would encourage you to do that. Like, there have been times where maybe I have a client that's running late, so I've asked somebody to hop on and start the Zoom, or our power hours every week, it's going to be a different leader from the team running the Zoom. So I kind of, I twist their arms and bring them in and put somebody who I know can do a Zoom but is a little leery of it, and put them on there with me. So now I know next time they can start doing their own. So just start, the more you do it, the more that people will see it can be done, and then your teams will start to do it as well. So I just think it takes time. I mean, I don't know how many times somebody probably said Zoom before I actually heard it. And then somebody probably posted a couple Zooms that I didn't understand, and then I finally got on one. So it's the same with your team. Just, use it, use the heck out of it, and then your team will start to follow.
Tammy, will you take a picture like you did the other night?
I will. Hang on. Everybody, if you're on here, put your face back on the screen. We got a lot of people that cover their faces up. All right. So on the count of 3, look at your screen. 1, 2, 3, smile. All right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, here's the most important thing. You have to start. So I want you tonight, if you were on here, you go make your free Zoom login information. Go put your profile picture on there. Go get your Zoom set up. It is free to use. Secondly, once you do that, find the date. I want you to find a date of the week, and I want you to start hosting your own. If you're still leery, reach out to your upline and see if you can jump on their, like Tammy said, on their Zoom and co-host it with them. Those are some challenges. If you were on here tonight, I am challenging you to do that. But first things first, if you go and download the app, it will make your life so much easier when you're jumping on all of these Zooms as well. Even if you're on the road, you can jump on them and listen. So do that. Anything else you want to add, Tammy, before we lose everybody?
Nope, I'll get this downloaded, and I'll pop it up on YouTube, and then I'll share it so Lindsay can share it. So if you have other team members who couldn't make it tonight, because again, it's not going to be convenient for everybody, but we'll have it and everybody can pass it around. So good luck. I mean, dive into Zoom. There's nothing to be afraid of.
All right. Go set up your Zoom account, guys. We'll talk to y'all later. Thank you.
Bye.